Hi there, this is Robin. Hi, Robin.
Hi. Hi, how's it going?
Good. So, Robin is one of my early success cases. She is Skyping with me. She doesn't live too far away, but it's just so much easier for her just to do it by Skype. Or by Google Hangouts, kind of nice. So, how did you end up finding me, and what kind of symptoms did you have when you had consulted with me?
Sure. So I was diagnosed with Hashimoto's about 2 years ago, and for the first bit, up until about a month ago, I wasn't really aware of any treatments or anything that I could do, to sort of offset the symptoms. And I had once I had started doing research around Hashimoto's, I realized that I had just about every one of the
Mm,
symptoms, from constipation, depression, inability to lose weight, or even just maintain my weight, bad circulation, really cold hands, cold feet, um, you know, getting really tired, just having sort of loss of energy. I stumbled across this community of people, like Facebook group, who all had Hashimoto's. And one of the ladies that I met through that community actually referred me to you, thankfully.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And what had you been doing about your condition before you had met with me?
Just before I met with you, not a whole lot. I had maybe, I had spent a month on autoimmune paleo, which helped a little bit, but I was still experiencing some of the problems. My some of my pain went away just from, buttoning up my diet a little bit, eating a little bit more clean. But there were some things I wasn't able to take care of on my own. And I just knew at that point that it was time to, seek out some professional help. Now, I had been to endocrinologists, I had been to thyroid specialists, I had been
Oh,
to, plenty of just general practitioners at really great institutions. I used to work at UCLA, so I, worked with a series of doctors there, and that's when I first got diagnosed. But I was never given any indication as to what I could do. Right? They
uh,
just, I would test my thyroid test would come back normal, and they would just sort of send me on my way and say, hey, come back in another month and we'll test you again. And once this tests normal, we'll give you a thyroid replacement. And that just, I'm a very healthy person. I try to do the best I can, and I believe very much in preventative care. And that just wasn't a great option for me. I
right.
wasn't satisfied with that answer. So I sought out additional care.
Okay. Okay. And so we consulted, we talked, and we found out that you had a number of these different triggers, which you learned about. And so we put you on a protocol. And probably how long would you say it took before you really started noticing you starting to feel better?
Oh gosh, let's see. Maybe by our what, third
Third visit,
appointment? Yeah, maybe
about 5 to 6
yeah,
weeks into it.
about 5 or 6 weeks in, which I know you had mentioned could happen. That I would at least start to feel a little bit better. So yeah, I'd say about 5 weeks in, just about during that time. I still think I have a little ways to come, but I've noticed significant improvement. I don't have any pain in my lower back. My shooting pains in my legs have gone away. That sort of leaky gut feeling in my stomach has gone away. So I think all of the sort of major uncomfortable symptoms have pretty much subsided. And now I'm just trying to focus on some of the other, smaller things, that are, maybe slightly uncomfortable, but, not quite as bad as what I was dealing with a month ago.
Right, right. Wow. So if you were to put a percentage of overall improvement on your condition from beginning to now, what would you say you're at?
I would say I'm at about 80%.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's astounding. 80%. And you've
Hmm.
had this condition for how long, do you think?
That is really difficult to say. I can't say that I always had the healthiest eating, in college. Like many other people, I think I
Sure.
was just uneducated on what eating healthy looks like.
Right.
Right? I was a calorie counter. I cared more about proportions, and in trying some other diets, it seemed like meat and protein were just high in calories and often high in fat. So why would I even bother? Meanwhile, I was eating a lot of carbs, a lot of dairy, a lot of things that ended up kind of harming my body in the long run. And some of these symptoms I've experienced for probably as long as 10 years.
Wow.
It's just difficult to say. Others of them I can remember having even when I was a teenager. So yeah, it's difficult to say, but if I had to put a mark on it, I'd say probably about 10 to 15 years.
Wow. 10 to 15 years. And a matter of 5 to 6 weeks, you were 80% better.
Yeah, yeah,
That's just astounding.
right.
Wow. Good
Yeah,
for you. Good
thank
for
you.
you. Congratulate. Yeah. And what's really cool is you got more improvement left to go.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I mean, I feel pretty comfortable with the direction that I'm headed in now, and I just think that if I continue on this path, with the progress that I've already seen in just a month, I really do feel that a lot of these changes are things that I can make for a lifetime. It'll be a challenge, but I'm just feeling so great. The part of me that's gotten so healthy is just like, this is worth it. It's
Right.
worth it to make the investment and put the time and effort into my health.
Right. Right. Good for you. Congratulations. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you.